Do you remember that one song from Aladdin that goes, "A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view"? That's exactly what it felt like, going from this to this. Hi, my name is Sherry. I was born and raised in the Philippines, and I moved here in the United States back in 2018 when I was 16. Today, we are going to talk about culture shock and the 4 stages of culture shock, naming the honeymoon stage, the frustration stage, the adjustment stage, and lastly, we have the acceptance stage. Starting off with the honeymoon stage. What do you think of when someone says honeymoon? Don't you think of a wedding? Or perhaps the trip after the wedding? This is when people go and explore new things. This is when they experience new things. This is when you feel the rush in your body, the love, the joy, the fun, everything in between. Same thing with culture shock. According to Lauren McCluskey of Now Health International back in 2020, this is the euphoric phase when you're fascinated by all of the exciting and different aspects of your new life. However, keep in mind that this should not last very long. According to an article from Global Perspective back in 2016, on longer trips, the honeymoon stage will usually phase out eventually. This shows that when you go on a vacation, it's possible that you experience honeymoon stage throughout your whole vacation. However, for longer trips, let's say you are moving out of state, out of country for good, it should die down and it should lead us to our next stage, which is the frustration stage, or what we call the homesick stage. This is when you just want to go home, you are tired of where you're at, you just miss everything from home, and you're just ready to pack everything and leave. After that, we have our adjustment stage. This is when our frustration subdues, we familiarize, and we get comfortable with what we have and what is surrounding us. This is when you just catch yourself comparing everything to your own culture. This is when you go home and realize they just smiled at me when they don't smile at me at home like that. This is when the differences show up. This is also when you start learning and understanding more about this new culture. And according to Brandy Yale back in 2017, this is the most gradual and the longest stage among the others. This is when you start experiencing the ups and the downs, basically. Why is it the longest? It's because you learn. Learning takes time. It doesn't do it overnight. Learning takes time, and that is fine, especially when it's something big like this, especially when you're moving out of country. And lastly, we have the acceptance stage, which is our final stage. This doesn't mean that you are done learning. You are still learning, however, you just accept where you are, how you are, who you are around these people. You are no longer feeling like you're isolated. You know, when you go to a different country for the first time and you just feel like, oh, I'm different, they're different from me, I feel like they're gonna judge me. But this time, you just accept everything and you no longer feel like you're isolated. According to Alani Harris, this doesn't mean you understand every custom of the new country, but you're accepting that you don't need to in order to feel at home. This leads us to the adaptation of biculturalism. This is when you mix your own culture with the new culture together, like the America is a melting pot. There's different cultures in one country, you just adapt and mix it with your own, and you just accept how it is. Based on a study from Simon Fraser University, you feel a new state and sense of belongingness and sensitivity to the new country. With all being said, these are all the stages of culture shock. And if you ever think about moving out of country, out of state, anywhere, always remember that you are definitely going through these stages no matter what. Whether you like it or not, you are going through it. But just be mindful that you should be kind to people who are new to a place, because you may never know if they're going through the honeymoon, the frustration, the adjustment, or the acceptance. Thank you for your time. Once again, my name is Sherry, and thank you for listening. And those are the 4 stages of culture shock. Thank you.